According to Tawana, this is perfect Thursday song music, right? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the blog on this 18th day of September. Now closing about 9:50 this morning. Good morning, everyone. Wave meteorologist Brian Goode. As we have a lot to cover here today in a short amount of time as always. I always have time for you all, right? We'll go into all the setup into the new drought maps that just came out 50 minutes ago. We'll take a look at that. There's some interesting things to point out there. And then we'll get into the storm setup and that cutoff low ordeal for next week. Not a ton of change with that, but I got a little bit more data to share with you all. And another update on October also to share with you all. As always, you guys can comment on the social media side, YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. Is there anything else I'm missing? I think that's it. Now, if you're watching on the app, on as far as your phone or on the Fire Stick at home, you're not seeing any of the comments fly up, and you're wondering who I'm talking to, but it's everyone on social media. So sometimes people keep up both so they can comment and watch it on their TV at home there. All right. Good morning. Who was first today? Albert, I think you were first, right? You were first one on YouTube today. Good job there. I know you and Carrie seem to be battling it out a lot. Hello from North Vernon. Hello, Kelly. And hello to Dolly Jean on here today. All right. Countdown continues, guys, as we are 4 days away, 4 days until fall. And while temperatures are expected to drop next week, not necessarily because of the air mass is changing. It's just because of clouds and rain, which I will get to in just a couple of moments. All right. Some of you may have saw the notes at the beginning of the blog that I wanted to share something with you all first before we get into the weather. So let me do that, and then we'll get on track. I promise I won't take too much of your time here. But today, as you guys probably aware of, is Give for Good Louisville, the one day of the year that all the local organizations are heavily promoted, and this is their biggest charity that they have for the entire year. This is what gets them by for the next year, is usually today. And a place special and near and dear to my heart is Bridgehaven mental services here in town. And the reason for that, if you guys have been long followers of not really the blog, but of my journey here to Wave, you may remember that in 2019, right before the pandemic, actually 60 days before the pandemic, I had a bit of a breakdown on TV that I didn't expect. And it was pressure that had been building up, and depression got a hold of me, and I just kind of unleashed it all on the morning show. Talk about how I've been really struggling, and I had considered permanent solutions to a temporary problem. And it was very eye-opening for myself. It was very difficult for my family to see that. Again, it wasn't intended. It just kind of happened. But I'm glad it did, because not only did it help me, but I'm hoping it helped others that were struggling at that time. Little did I know that right around the corner, one of the biggest mental challenges we would have would be the pandemic and what comes along with that in psychology and impact on society. So I didn't talk about it as much after that, because I felt like we were all feeling it at that point, right? So awareness was high, and it's getting higher. That's good. But we need to keep the awareness going. And I still take part with events with Bridgehaven every year. They reached out to me when this all happened and have been just great friends since that time. So they are the ones that I am hoping to raise money for today. I have the link out on my Facebook page, as well as on my Twitter at the moment. I apologize, this looks a little weird on the screen. But it is up right now on there where you can donate, and my story is shared on there as well. So I hope it works, because sometimes Facebook doesn't like links at all and doesn't let it be seen very well. So that's why I'm trying to point it out that it's there, and it's also on, again, on my X account as well. And I'll try to get it on Instagram today. But if you guys have a moment, just even if you just share it, I appreciate it. You don't have to donate. I know the pressures right now financially on a lot of people are not easy, right? So I'm not pressuring anyone. But if you share it, then maybe someone that you know may be able to help. And that's all I'm asking, is just spread the word, even if they just take a moment to know that they're there to help them if they need some help. So again, Gift for Good today, Bridgehaven Mental Services, that's who I am supporting. So I appreciate you all always being friends and kind to me during that time, and your support. It's a journey. It's never solved, but it can get better. It can get better, right? Okay. So let me get back on track with the weather side here, and we'll. If you have any questions on that, I'll be glad to address it coming up here toward the end, right? All right. Quite to switch the gears here, but this is a live look for Louder Than Life kicking in. What, an hour? That's an hour, I think. And they open up the gates there at the Fair and Expo Center. And I'm glad. I'm happy that they're going to get some decent weather out of this. We didn't make it to 90 yesterday. Kind of an interruption there on that streak, right? So 89, but lower 90s. Before that, I think we'll get back to that 90-degree range today. And staying hot, it looks like, through Saturday. Then after Saturday, I do see some trends coming our way where we can improve things a bit. This is unusual to see a air quality index right now already in code orange level in Jeffersonville, 110. 100 is the threshold. It's only one sensor. The rest are moderate, even a few in the good category. But again, air quality alert out today. Because of this issue, there is a good chance they're going to extend this. Usually they announce it within the hour. If they're going to extend that out through tomorrow. And they could technically even do it all the way through Saturday, although Saturday may feature a bit higher amount of moisture in the air. So maybe that may balance things out just a smidge. But either way, just if you have any type of breathing element, just take it slow, right? Take it slow. There's air quality alert again, technically out till tonight. I'll let you know if it gets extended, which is certainly possible. Okay, the drought index updated today. This is not a shocker. Moderate drought now for Louisville, good chunk of Indiana, good chunk of Kentucky. Severe drought entering into Western Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky. But what is interesting is some of you are not in a drought status at all. And that's basically north of Huber's Orchard and Winery in Clark County, all the way west of Scottsburg and around Seymour. And you're like, why do they get to be the lucky ones? And if you're in that area, you know why. It was Sunday. Sunday, you had that stripe of rain that was fairly continuous. It actually did help all the way down into Meade County and for our western Jefferson. So it's not a moderate drought even through there. It's a bit of a disconnect to indicate where that rain band set up shop on Sunday. So it did help. It helped in a way to keep you off from going into a drought status for a few miles of our area, but the rest of the region, yeah, certainly into the moderate drought. And we're not alone. The rest of the country, yeah, generally just about every state is reporting a drought. It's good for maybe North Dakota. Everyone else has got a drought status listed. So what this could typically mean for a fall, especially if you don't improve it, is you can get warm spells. Don't get me wrong, but when you get cold, you can get cold. And I'm talking about easily getting early frost and drought scenarios like this, because the air is drier and running behind schedule on being able to hold enough moisture to counteract that threat usually. So with a very dry setup that we're entering, we'll see how this evolves in the coming weeks. But typically your first few cold shots of air can be pretty potent, just because, especially the overnight lows, because of this kind of a setup. But I think this can get erased with a weak La Nina especially. I think we can start to improve this by the time we get into winter. We did that last year. We'll see. I think it'll happen again. At the moment, we still have this low pressure to our west. We'll get into that in just a second. Quick update on our short-term weather to guide you guys to futurecast on it. Not a whole lot of change. I'm not sure why the temperatures are not displaying today. I have no idea. But maybe it's just there's no temperature today. It's pick your own. Pick your own temperature. We got hazy skies today. No issues. Tomorrow, yeah, I got a few clouds that will start to develop. You can see the line of instability starts to approach where that red shade is in Illinois back into St. Louis. That's the leading boundary, leading part of the spin of the upper low. So as it moves in, it will start to show at least some impact. And by the time we get into Saturday, we're a little more humid on Saturday. The chances for at least a few downpours or thunderstorms start to appear into the forecast. Just don't think it's got enough yet to work with as far as forcing to allow for much to happen here on Saturday. So bet on dry weather on Saturday. But Sunday, we may sort of see things evolve a bit more. I'll get to that in just a second. Quick update on the tropics as we've been watching Gabrielle out here into the Atlantic, but poor Gabrielle's not doing very well. There's the center of it right here. And most of the thunderstorms keep getting sheared off from the southwest to the northeast. So it just is not producing the thunderstorms where it counts. It's just a swirl of clouds mixed in with sunshine at the moment. But still packing wind, just not a lot of rain with that. So Gabriel's got to fight. When you look at even the more enhanced infrared here, there's just nothing in the middle of it. So unless this changes, which most of the modeling does develop this with thunderstorms, but if it runs too far behind, it could be interesting. They may have to downgrade a bit on the intensity before maybe a slight ramping up as it passes Bermuda. I don't know. This one, intensity forecasts are always the tough ones in tropical systems, more so than the track, in my opinion. But right now, Gabriel's forecast to become a hurricane as it gets near Bermuda over the weekend and early next week and make that turn. Pretty good agreement on that. I think what we need to be watching is what's behind it, which I didn't get a chance to show you. That is soon to be Humberto, which Humberto will likely cross more to the southwest and more into this zone than what Gabrielle is doing. I don't know what will happen after that. I don't know if it's going to try to make it toward the United States, the Bahamas, or in Bermuda again, but it will likely take a more southwest track than what Gabrielle's done. So I think that's interesting. And for us, still need to watch the Gulf. So far, nothing is showing up, but it is a pattern that can quickly spin up something. So we'll be watching that too down the road. All right, and you can see how the modeling, let me get rid of my drawings. Look at that. Just about every model is turning it. So that's a promising sign. Okay, for us, it's all going to be about the upper low that is moving in from the Midwest. It's going to be scooting here to the north. Now, what is interesting about this is you're about to see as it moves into the Great Lakes, because this is a counterclockwise spin to it, it will have a tail kind of on the southern part, like the comma on your keyboard. It takes on that kind of a shape a bit. This is a feed of showers and thunderstorms on the tail. That looks to get established late Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, it looks like. I don't know, though, where it's going to be a fairly narrow corridor, where that will set up. Is it going to be Southern Illinois through Indiana into Ohio, or is it going to be right across Kentucky near Louisville through south of Cincinnati into about Dayton, Ohio? That is kind of fluctuating a bit on, and it may end up being both. It could bounce around, but that's really our first chance at a decent coverage of showers and storms looks to be is when we get into the first little hook of that low as it moves in the Great Lakes. And again, it may not, like you're almost fishing here, it may not latch onto us until some point Sunday night or Monday. But that's just the first low that moves by. The second one rolls right in behind it. This one is going to sit up mainly to our west initially. It may take some time to drift over us and eventually sink to the east. As we've talked about, the more west it is to 65, the more it will have more of a thunderstorm component to it. Still could be warm, but thunderstorms at times. I'm not ruling out severe weather. I think it's going to be a low-end severe risk overall, but anytime you have a location on the eastern side of a spin of a low pressure, you got to watch that. So we'll be monitoring that as we head into next week. Once it drifts over us, it's more your typical rain, not even really a thunder issue, and cooler weather for sure. This whole process right now has the potential to take up to 7 days to complete. That could be interesting. The rain chance could be a several-day rain chance before something finally moves along in the upper part of the jet, which will be up here into Canada, to finally kick it to the east. So we'll expect still a lot of changes in the 10-day, especially the end portion. The last 5 days of the 10-day are going to keep evolving. I've been stressing this. If you have plans, don't panic yet. It's just too early. A cutoff low scenario is challenging because they really, again, have free reign. They can do whatever they kind of want to do. And the amount of real estate they can cover is just too hard. It's almost like playing Plinko on The Price is Right. Not easy to do. It looks easy on TV until you're actually there, then it's not. So anyway, that's what we'll be watching for next week. Be sure what the Euro shows with this. Again, the blue is the cooler weather. The orange-red there is the fuel and more of your thunderstorm areas. We start to enter that again, spotty on Saturday, a little more coverage there on Sunday. Then we get into the tail that will start to form Monday and Tuesday right here. Again, the low is up here into Canada, if I can draw it. So there's the tail stretching through. And I can already see the next low right here already dropping in. It's going to attach to it and combine it to a whole new look there. But Monday and Tuesday will be the first low influence. All right, it gets established. There we go. Colder pocket right underneath it. Generally in the 60s can be found there. Well, we got thunderstorms on the eastern side, generally in the I-65 corridor all the way up to about, say, here into Louisville. And rainfall amounts probably will be light because we have such a dry ground initially, but we may get into repeated rounds here where we should get some drought help. May not eliminate the drought altogether, but it may help us here. And the daily thunderstorm chance and just being cloudy almost every day, I think is going to be a welcome sight for some that are kind of over these really sunny, hot days, right? Again, here we are next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday, and it's still in the weather map. I will say just beyond this is when the first cold shot of October that we've been tracking shows up. It will happen within the first week, maybe first 10 days of October, it will drop down. I will continue to watch that and let you know, but it'll be our first chance to really feel some true chilly air coming back into play there. All right, let me get into the 10-day. Again, lower 90s next few days, and then we get into the thunderstorm setup that will just slowly ramp up with the first low. And then rain chances, I got a feeling there's going to be some days here that are going to be like 60, 70% next week. I just don't know which day yet we need to spike, but it may be more than one. But that's why I'm saying there probably will be changes to that extended. All right, what questions can I get to? Because I'm sorry that I rambled on, but I just want to cover all the basics for those that really just want the weather information and they got to move on through their day. I understand you guys are busy, right? Doesn't drought stop being monitored after the killing frost and freeze? No, we still monitor the drought. Drought's monitored all year because other areas don't have freezing weather. So Florida can enter, example, a drought scenario sometimes in La Nina too. So yeah, it's always monitored every week. It gets monitored there on Thursdays. Angie, always a big watcher of the blog. Thanks, Angie. I appreciate that. Good morning, ZK. There's such a YouTube community. It's wild. I need to be on YouTube more. And I still want to do a meet and greet with you guys. I'm working on it. Thanks, Eugene. I saw your comment. I don't want to put up my face will turn red, but thank you, Eugene, for your comment there on Facebook. I appreciate it. And ZK, it's again the first 10 days. I think we'll have the colder shot of air. I know you're watching it carefully for what you have to do and plan for. So I'll keep you updated on that. All right. Any other questions? Especially on the rain side of things. Again, we're going to see just more of a scattering of these downpours into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So I wouldn't panic yet on your plans there. And don't forget, fall officially arrives coming up as we head into Monday afternoon at 2:19 p.m. Nothing magical will happen. It's just at that point, the sun is crossing over the equator. Let's see. What do you think? We're done with the 80s, Cameron says. Typically, I don't think we've ever been 80 in December, but I think in November, I think we've hit 80 before. So I would say probably October into November, we are typically done with that. That would be a record level if we got to that point, though, even then. But I don't think the December's never hit 80. So at least there's a limit there in December. What is causing the air quality alert? It is the ozone layer, Adam. It's just building up. The air is not moving more so above our head than it is really at the ground. It's just not stirring enough. So the pollutants build when you have heat involved and it's hot. Those actually can build down all the way to the ground level and becomes a little bit more of a challenge to breathe. Your lungs work harder. So if you have an issue with your lungs already, it's enhanced or exacerbated by the setup today. If you're in healthy shape, then you likely won't notice anything. So that's why it's only for sensitive groups for code orange. All right, I'm going to stop rambling, but you guys are awesome. Thanks again for listening to my story this morning at the beginning of the blog. If you haven't seen it yet, once I stop the blog, it'll replay. But again, you can go to my Facebook page and Twitter if you want to know more. All right, guys, I'm going to head out of here. Behave yourselves. I'll see you on midday coming up on the flip side.